ready for this?
Welcome to Retro Eric. Today we are talking about the Covox and what games is directly supported and what emulators can we use to support even more games. Today, Covox and pallet port digital to analog converters have a renaissance, much due to Sadako, who has made several improvements to the original Covox speech thing. YouTube celebrities like LGR, 8-Bit Guy and Phil's Computer Lab has also done their share to revitalize this oddware. The good thing about the Covox speech thing is that you can make it yourself or you can buy it cheap online. The one I'm using today I bought for €6 and it's very basic. If you really want to get into this, consider buying Sadako's. The trouble with the Covox speech thing is that it does not work with many games directly, but luckily there are other ways of getting it done. In this video we will cover 4 ways of utilizing the Covox. Games like Pinball Dreams and Where in the World is Carmen San Diego and Deluxe editions have direct support. You can find a list of supported games on Moby Games and filter on Covox speech thing. I have a link below the video. This link will show you about 55 games with direct Covox support. But beware, I had trouble getting many of these games to work. For instance, Prince of Persia. After some research, I learned that only version 1.0 of the game supports Covox. Version 1.3 and version 1.4 does not. But even with the right version, I did not get it to work on my Covox. Another example is Where in the World is Carmen San Diego. At first I did not get it to work until I realized that I had to have the Deluxe edition. And then it only supported sound effects by choosing Disney Sound Source. Next up is Sierra Games support. If you Google for Covoxer, you will find drivers for most EGA and VGA based Sierra games. As far as I can tell, the early EGA based Sierra games are not supported, but SCI based games like Space Quest 1 VGA edition and Space Quest 3 works fine. Just be aware that there are different drivers for EGA and VGA games. Just copy the correct driver to the game directory of the Sierra game and run install and choose the Covox driver. The Covoxer also contains a TSR driver with support for a handful of games. Just by running covoxer.exe, you will get support for many games like Wolfenstein 3D and Another World. As you see, you will get a question when you run a game that is supported by Covoxer if you want to utilize it. It will then, in most games, be seen as sound source, or also known as Disney sound source. Be aware that you will only get sound effects from these, or at least this game. For a complete list of the games supported by the Covox DAC, read the README files that comes with the program. Last but not least, we have the TeamView, Tandy emulator. By running teamview.exe with a couple of parameters telling it to use LPT1 and the bitrate, you will get the sound on your DAC. It is supported by many Tandy games. Again, by going to Moby Games and filter on Tandy sound, you will find hundreds of games supporting Tandy. Sadly, I only managed to get some of the games working, but by so many games supporting Tandy, you are bound to find at least a few games you like supporting this emulator. It seems the key to find the games that actually works with this Tandy emulator is to look for games that has a choice, maybe through a setup program or with a parameter, that will force you or give you the choice to force to choose Tandy music. I just started Arkanoid 2 with the parameter Y for Tandy sound. As you see, the emulator uses some of the CPU, so actually every time it plays music or sounds, the ball slows down and makes it very annoying to play the game. In this game, you only get the music. The sound effect actually comes from the built-in speaker. Luckily, by pressing F2, you can disable that annoying sound from the squeaker. I could also mention that there's a utility called Virtual Sound Blaster that would or should be able to emulate a Sound Blaster 1. I never got this to work with any of the games I tried. If you have had any luck with the Virtual Sound Blaster together with the Covox, please let me know in the comments below. By using these 4 methods, you will be able to play many games with sounds from your parallel port. As you might have seen, I've been using an IBM PS2 model 55SX at 16 MHz for this demo. The reason for this is this computer is probably the slowest you can use combined with these emulators to run the Covox. Also, I believe that this computer is correct to the time period the Covox and the game supported by it came out. Lastly, most IBM PS2 models have MCA card bus, and it's very hard to find a sound card that with that kind of bus. So for most PS2, I would guess that the Covox is probably one of the few options you have for music. Well, that's all folks. Thank you for watching Retro Eric.